again, and Turnbull turns on another one.
Right back in, they score! Turnbull, what a shot, top corner!
Hi, everybody. Welcome to my second interview. I got a great player with me today, a local girl from Pictou County, Stellarton, to be exact. She attended the University of Wisconsin. She was a fighting Badger? Fighting Badger?
Yeah, the Badgers.
The Badgers, where she served as a captain for 2 years when she was a junior and a senior. Also won an NCAA national championship there. From there, she got drafted to the Calgary Alferno, went on to win a Clarkson Cup in 2016, scored 2 goals in the final game against Montreal, I do believe, right, Blayre?
Yeah.
Then we're going to get really exciting here. We move on to where she played lots of events in Team Canada, won a gold in the Four Nations Cup in 2014, played in 2 World Women's Championships, 2016, 2017, both came out with a silver. Probably her biggest accomplishment so far, where she got to play in the 2018 Olympics in Pyeongchang, and also won a silver medal there. Also was all set to play for the women's national team this year in here in Halifax and Truro. That was canceled due to our COVID-19. So please welcome Blayre Turnbull. How are you doing, Blayre?
Good. How are you doing?
We're all good out here. We're all dealing with different stuff, and it's a crazy times. I know you're out in Kelowna, so how are things out there?
Things are great out here. The weather's been nice, and obviously with everything that's happened back home, my thoughts and my heart is definitely in Nova Scotia. And I'm thinking of everyone and wishing I was home to be there. As everybody experiences the things that have been happening there.
Yeah, it's it's pretty frightening news that we had this week, and we're all dealing with it. We're all Nova Scotians from all over the country, and we really appreciate that. And we know you're a strong Maritimer, so we appreciate that. So, what else have you been up to these days? Are you training? Are you getting your workouts in, or?
Yeah. Doing the best we can. We have a little homemade squat rack set up, and we got our hands on some weights. So we've been doing some pretty decent workouts, and we've been running a lot, biking a lot. So yeah, we're definitely staying active and trying to get all of our workouts in.
Awesome. When you say we, I'm assuming you're talking about Ryan, who is who's trying to train to become he's a bobsledder, but he's trying to make the Olympics as well, right?
Yeah. So yeah, he was on the national team for the past couple of years, and his goal is to make the Olympic team in 2022.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hopefully we can have both you guys there at that Olympics for sure. That'd be really cool.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So listen, a girl growing up from Pictou County, who did you look up to growing up as a young hockey player?
When I was super young, my idols were all guys who played in the NHL. I was a big Toronto Maple Leaf fan back in the day, and Ty Domi was one of my favorite players. And then when I was old enough to kind of understand that there's such thing as women's hockey, I remember watching the Olympics in 2002 and thinking oh wow, I would love to play on that team. And then my idols sort of became those girls. So obviously Cassie Campbell, Haley Wickenheiser are the two that every single girl who plays hockey would recognize and know and look up to. So those two definitely are my idols, and they were actually, I'm lucky enough to know them both personally now. I played on a team with Wickenheiser a few years ago, and Cassie was the advisor this year for our national team, so I got to know her quite well this year. So that was pretty cool. And then obviously there were a bunch of local people too that I looked up to, like Jessica Wong. She comes to mind right away. Even Lisa Green, when I was younger, like she was the best hockey player in the county. So I remember looking up to those two a lot when I was younger, playing back home.
Oh, that's great. I know you played in a few of our charity games with Play the Pros, and you do have a little bit of edge to your game, like Ty Domi.
Oh yeah.
That's great.
Blood.
The Turnbull blood, exactly. Turnbulls are big hockey people in our community. So her dad coaches, her brother played hockey, so they're great hockey players. What about now? Again, like just giving our listeners and our people following, from the same thing, girls hockey really is popular now. It's humongous, and I know you're an older part, like where you left home early. What was your route leaving Pictou County, like when you left home?
So back at that time, like there wasn't much girls hockey. I think the new midget girls league, I played in it the first year that it came around. So I played in that for 1 year, and then I had a chance to go play at prep school for grade 11 and 12. So I went to Shattuck St. Mary's in Minnesota for grade 11 and 12 after playing 1 year of girls hockey. But yeah, like at the time that league wasn't as developed as it is now, and there weren't as many opportunities to play at the next level from playing in that league. So I'm glad that the landscape has kind of changed a bit, and more girls are getting better opportunities after playing from that league.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I go watch the girls play the midgets, and it's good hockey. It really has come a long way, and obviously, yourself getting to play in that league, I'm sure a lot of young girls looked up to you. So that's great. Well, we'll talk a little bit about Team Canada. I know I got to play for Team Canada just once. It was a tournament in Germany. What for yourself, like playing for your country? How cool is that?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's something that, like, still anytime you go to a camp or anytime you get to put the jersey on for a game, like, it's still, you take a minute to think about how special it is and how lucky you are, because there's so, like, think about how big the country is and how many people are playing hockey, and you're one of 23 that gets to play on the team that represents the entire country. It's really special when you take a minute to actually think about what you're doing.
Yeah, I know. We're very proud of you here from Pictou, and you've had a great career so far, and hopefully lots of years left. What about the disappointment this year of Truro and Halifax hosting the tournament? You and Jill both were going to get to play at home here, and it's really unfortunate.
Yeah, that was really a really tough pill to swallow after the season that we had this year with the CWHL folded at the end of last season. So we found that out when we were over in Finland playing in Worlds last year. And then, so we didn't have a league to play in this year. And the light at the end of the tunnel was going to be getting to play in the World Championships back home in Halifax. And that was, going to be the major positive out of this year. And unfortunately, due to everything that's been going on with COVID-19, it didn't happen. And we're just really thankful that we get another chance to hopefully make the team for next year and compete again, because Halifax and Truro get to host again next year.
Yeah, well, that's going to be awesome. So we definitely hope that you both are on that team. I have to talk about this. I love watching the Olympics, and especially, when you were playing, it was awesome to watch. But there's a huge rivalry in Canada's women's hockey team, and it's the USA. Like, when you guys play each other, it's physical hockey, it's fast, and you can see the hatred in each other. Maybe talk about that US rivalry a little bit.
Yeah, it's super intense. And, for us, we've been on the losing side of it for the past few years in games that matter. I mean, we're neck and neck with them all season long. We play about 7 or 8 games against them throughout the season. And then when it gets to World Championships, they've kind of had our number at the past few, including the Olympics. So obviously, any time that we come up short, it just adds more fuel to the fire. And I think for us, the rivalry grows even bigger than what it has been. So it's pretty intense. And like you said, there are worst enemies on the ice, and any chance we get to play them, we always have the same approach, and we don't want to give them anything.
Exhibition doesn't matter. Whenever you play that other team, it's you want to win, and that's just like hockey, though. Is there one particular player? I don't know if you want to talk about one particular player that just burned you, oh geez, this drives you crazy.
Yeah, like I played against a lot of them in university, and for me, like the Lamoureux twins, they're so competitive and so physical that like they can really get under your skin. So, and to make things worse, one of them scored the shootout winner at the Olympics against us. So, for me, it's the Lamoureux twins, but honestly, like any one of them on the team, like they all kind of drive me a bit crazy.
They all just bug you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Listen, I reached out to a couple of young girls from Pictou here and just asked them. I told them I'd be interviewing you, and asked them if they had any questions. And I actually got 3 questions here from some local girls. One is Georgia Burrows. She asked, what was it like to play in the best women's hockey league?
It was a good experience. I think there were a lot of areas that we wanted to improve on in terms of becoming a more professional league. But it's tough when most of the girls on our teams have to work full-time jobs. So I think that was a bit of a challenge, just trying to be a professional league, but then have people who, like, hockey's not their full-time job because, well, they don't get paid for it. So obviously they have to do other things. So the hockey itself was super competitive, and like the Canada-US rivalry, there were rivalries within that league as well. Calgary and Montreal is a good rivalry. There were 2 teams in Toronto. I know they had a great rivalry between each other, and the hockey was great. The girls on my team were great, and we're hoping that with our new PWHPA that we are able to get us a league where we can play hockey full time and, you know, earn salaries, and so that people don't have to miss a practice or miss a game because they have other work commitments that they need to take care of first.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be huge for the women's game for sure. And hopefully it all works out for you guys. Listen, the next question is from Abigail McKenzie, and a good Stellarton girl like yourself. She asked, what do you think you did to make yourself stand out from all the other girls competing for the same thing you were?
That's a good question. I think my biggest strength is probably my consistency and my competitiveness. So I think no matter what, whether we're in the gym or we're practicing or we have an exhibition game or a game at World Championships, my approach and my competitiveness never changes. So I think that's one thing that has helped me a lot, is the coaches and my teammates know day in and day out what they're going to get from me. And I think that as a teammate, it's a really valuable asset to be someone that can be consistent and be reliable, and really has the same approach, like I said, in practice or at any games. I think it's something that has helped me make it at this level. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, consistency is huge, and I know now I'm a coach, and I try to preach consistency to kids, and in life, all life. I mean, you have to have consistency, and that's a great answer for sure. And it's be competitive is the biggest thing too, to make it as far as you did, and you really have to be competitive and the drive. I've seen you work out in the gym. It's you work your butt off. It's awesome. The next question is from Avery Cohen. She asked, what are the 3 best character traits that you have found most coaches look for at a high level?
Like a few are definitely coming to mind. The first is obviously being a good teammate. I think one thing I've noticed over the years is that the better teammate you are, the more opportunities you're going to have to remain on the team and to remain an important part of an organization. And so one thing that goes hand in hand with that is you'll see a lot of times some of the best players are left off rosters because they don't fit in with the team chemistry or the team dynamic, and maybe that's because they're not the best teammates. So I think one thing that you can always control is how you treat people and how good of a teammate you are. And, you know, sometimes you might not be happy with your role, or you might not be happy with how many minutes you're playing that game, but like you can always be a good teammate no matter if things are going your way or if they're not. I think that's one thing that gets more important as you get older and as you move up levels in hockey, being a good teammate. So another thing I think is work ethic. That's an obvious one. No matter what you do, if you're working hard, you're working your tail off in every aspect of life, it's going to go a long way and it's going to pay off. Whether you're rewarded with making a team or not, if you put in the work and you give it your all, you're not going to have any regrets about your effort. I think that's one thing that at the end of the day, I'm really happy with. Whether I continue to make the team or not, I know that I'm doing all I can to put myself in the best position moving forward. A third trait, well, I already touched on consistency.
Yeah.
So I would say resilience. I think there's so many highs and lows, especially in sport. Like, you're not going to make every team. You're not going to be happy with certain roles or certain coaching decisions. But if you're resilient and you can find a way to overcome those things and learn from all the challenging times, it's going to make you stronger, and it's going to help you in the end, despite it being could be something, you know, really upsetting at the time. But at the end of the day, it's going to make you stronger, and it's going to make you a better hockey player, better person, and just help you in life no matter what.
Oh, so true, so true. And good people want good people. And
Yeah.
Blayre, you're definitely a great person. You're a great ambassador to our game, and you're a great player. So I really appreciate you coming on with us here today, and look forward to seeing you back in Nova Scotia. Hopefully this summer. And hopefully, is there anything else you'd like to say to our listeners, our girl players out there, our boys players out there? But I know you touched on a lot of things, but is there anything else you'd like to say to us?
Good. Just, I think, thanks everybody back home for the support. I think anytime that I get the opportunity to go home, I always love running into people and seeing so many people around the rink. So, and obviously thanks to you for everything you're doing with hockey back home. I think it's come a long way since I was a kid. So thanks again for everything, and thanks to everybody for supporting me, and hopefully I get to see you all soon.
Yeah, we definitely want to see you back here this summer. So you guys stay safe out there, and I really appreciate it. Thanks, Blayre.
Yeah, thank you.